Week 4 of the NFL season kicks off tonight, so you know what we're going to do. Make some picks today on the Locked On NFL Scouting Podcast.
You are Locked On NFL Scouting with the Draft Dudes, your daily podcast for NFL and college football scouting. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's better than this? It's guys being dudes here on the Locked On NFL Scouting Podcast. We're the Draft Dudes. I'm Joe Marino from Locked On Bills. He's Kyle Crabbs from Locked On Dolphins. We are your NFL experts here with you daily to talk team building across the league. The Locked On NFL Scouting Podcast with the Draft Dudes, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I'd like to thank you for making Locked On NFL Scouting your first listen every day, and a big welcome and a big shout out to our everydayers. You know who you are. Those of you who never miss a single episode, we appreciate you all being here very, very much. This episode is brought to you by Prize Picks, the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Go to prizepicks.com/LockedOnNFL. Use our promo code LockedOnNFL. That'll get you a first deposit match up to $100.
Joe, happy week 4 day to you. We're making our picks. We're going to go over the year to date. We're going to go over this week 4 slate of games. We're going to make our personal, just straight up picks. We're going to go over picks against the spread with the Locked On NFL Scouting Roster Rankings Assessment Project. So we get a lot to dive into. And I figured we'd kind of set the table on what the first 3 weeks have provided for us and just give everybody the updated 30,000-foot view.
Well,
as I perpetually struggle with my hair this morning.
You know, it really has been a thing here. I mean, I've never seen this before, so I hope you get this tightened up.
Thanks.
Why not? Put a hat on, man. That's my game plan. Put a hat on.
That's going to be the next step. If you see me get up and leave,
yeah,
it's because I'm just sick and tired of dealing with it. And I got a bunch of hats I'm looking at right over here. Imagine now watching on YouTube. So through the first 3 weeks, Joe, you and I are not picking against the spread. We are just picking games straight up. The good news is we're both over 62%. Joe Marino is 30-18 through the first 3 weeks, which is the getting to know you phase of the NFL season, right? Or every football season. The first couple weeks, it's a matter of what you think you know and confirming your priors and teams that prove you wrong and what's sustainable out of those. 30-18 is 62.5% for Joe Marino. Kyle Crabbs is at 33-15, so it's a 3-game separation, but we're all just in it to have fun. I hope everybody has a good time. That is 68.8% through the first.
Rounded up, it's 69%, Kyle.
It's true. Nice. Locked On NFL Scouting, however, is picking against the spread. We said, well, we don't want to just look at – we have a whole body of work last year that says if you just took the roster rankings as we update them and you just look at who's the better team, it was predictive statistically speaking because we did it with ChatGTP. Statistically significant predictor, over 60% of games was just straight up who the better ranked team was in the roster rankings. So now we're doing that against the spread. And through the first 3 weeks, NFL Scouting against the spread is performing at a 56% correct selection rate with the spread. Not even just straight up.
They had a week last week.
They went 12-4 last week. It beat both of us. It beat both of us last week. So 27-21 through the first 3 weeks. You're keeping score at home. We are.
This is a tough week to pick. I mean, like last week, we were pretty chalked with what way we saw this.
Yep.
I mean, what was you and I talked yesterday? How many games are there with a spread bigger than 3? 4 of them?
I think it's technically 6.
Okay, so maybe that's changed a little bit, but there's a lot of like very, very difficult games.
Philadelphia, Los Angeles Chargers, San Francisco 49ers, Dallas Cowboys, Kansas City Chiefs. Is that 4? It's 5. It's 5. It's 5. So we were both wrong. We both managed to be wrong. 5 teams greater than 3.5 points. Although technically Pittsburgh's 3.5. So there would be your 6th team. Got ourselves a week. And the good news is it sounds like we're actually going to be able to grade the Packers on what we actually think the team is. Because these guys are going to play today, which has not been the case. They're up first with Detroit tonight on Thursday Night Football, Joe.
Give me the Packers at home, short week. going with the home team. Certainly a winnable game for the Lions. Are favored on the road, but I like the home team short week division game.
I also like Green Bay in this game. Of course, the elements that you've described. NFL scouting against the spread has this spread at less than 1.5 points. Now, it does have Detroit favored to win the game outright. So it technically disagrees with us there, but it has the margin of the victory lower than the 1.5 point spread. So therefore, you'd say, okay, well, then you're going to take Green Bay to cover the spread because the number says so. So full sweep on Thursday Night Football. We are all in on this show on the Green Bay Packers. Falcons, Jaguars,
you know?
Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence's team at home, looking to bounce back.
At home, asterisk, London.
Home.
Jeez.
They're there every year. It's home.
I know. They're there next week, too.
And I know you feel some type of way that they're there next week, too.
I think I'm happy that they're there next week.
Really?
Yeah.
Of the second of the two, you would rather not catch them the first week that they're there?
Them boys want to get home, man.
It makes sense. Jacksonville's favored by 3 in this game. Now, as far as the pick'em, Jackson, it's kind of been there, done that for Jacksonville, right? I think
so.
It's an extra element that makes me want to pick Jacksonville, even though they've been underperforming to start the season.
It feels like a get right opportunity for their football team. Not against Atlanta, but like get away, right? You haven't played the 3 games that you hoped you would play to start the year. Get to London, get away, focus in, and handle a team that you should probably be able to handle, especially if you can score some points. Like dare Atlanta to hang with you. Now, Jacksonville hasn't scored points like they should to this point, but Calvin Ridley, revenge game, Dougie P back against the wall. I think I'll lean into Jacksonville in this game.
So we both are picking straight up Jacksonville, and the scouting against the spread actually really likes Jacksonville in this game. Now, Atlanta has kind of overperformed our expectations with where we graded them. Next week's a big week because we're going to update player assessments. We're going to update player assessments every four weeks throughout the season. So you get every quarterly update. So all of these rankings, it's no longer just, okay, is players healthy and available? It's, okay, what pinks are we going to turn into purples or blues or yellows or oranges? And that's going to create some changes within the scoring for the teams. So that's not a small deal. But I would definitely point to Atlanta as a team that has outperformed what we graded them initially. But nevertheless, it likes Jacksonville to cover 3 points. I say all that to say it likes Jacksonville to cover 3 points in London. Thank goodness, a 9 a.m. kick. We're blessed this Sunday.
I'll be there.
It'll be a long day.
It'll be a perfect day. I once again get to set my personal record for the most amount of NFL football games watched live in a day. You know what I mean?
And it'll never get more than where it's at.
I don't think it will, but never say never.
Are you talking about expansion? Is that what you're referring to here?
Oh, I don't know. Like, is there ever going to be a random like game played in Australia that starts at 11 p.m. our time, and you get to watch that as well, and you get 5 in or something? You know what I mean? I'm just saying,
that'd be pretty cool.
Possibility, you know?
Why don't we not waste our time with like, I don't know, I was going to throw shade at the multiple Monday Night Football thing, but that's not going to help you set the record for in a day anyway.
No.
All right. Do you want to get one more? You want to get the first 1 p.m. game in?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, it's Rams and Colts is the first game that we have on the list here. Rams are favored by 1.5 points as of the most recent numbers. Excuse me, this is flipped. The Colts are favored by 1.5 points in accordance to our friends over at FanDuel Sportsbook. I like the Rams straight up. I'm going to be honest.
I kind of do too. Are we expecting Richardson to start at quarterback for the Colts?
He was full participant at practice. Yes.
So yes.
Yes.
Oh man. I think I'm going to roll with the Rams here as well. very reluctantly. I feel like if Minshew was starting, I might pick the Colts. I feel like there's more variance with Richardson's performance.
That's fair.
I like Richardson. Like I might, if you told me I can have one of the 3 rookie quarterbacks, I might pick him.
You'd pick CJ Stroud.
Right, but I'm hyping him up. I'm being impressed with what I've seen from him throughout the preseason and the 2 starts that he's had.
And you should be. You should be.
So I'm trying to give him some love here.
NFL scouting thinks the Rams should be favored by 3 points. So they're needlessly you say, oh, I can get the Rams plus 1.5. I'm going to hammer it. Might be a good money line opportunity for you.
Yeah, I'm taking the Rams. All right.
Okay.
Lots more to pick here, but first we got to talk about Harry's razors, folks. Got a beard, but I still have to shave. Can't be having neck beard. Can't be having a cheek fuzz. That just looks sloppy. So my go-to for a great shave at a great price is a Harry's razor delivered right to my front door. I've enjoyed using Harry's razors, and you got to check out their starter set. Head on over to harrys.com/NFL. You can get a starter set for just $3. It includes a 5-blade German-engineered razor, a weighted handle, foaming shave gel, and a travel cover. And look, Harry's makes skincare products as well that will give you the best shave you've ever had. They have creams, washes, lotions, all of that to keep your skin healthy and hydrated. And folks, their razors are sharp. The 8th shave with the razor is just as sharp as the first. There's simply no reason not to try Harry's. They have the highest customer satisfaction rating in the shaving industry, and they're also offering a no-risk trial. So get your best shave ever with Harry's razors and skincare products. Get a $13 starter set for just $3 at harrys.com/NFL. That's harrys.com/NFL for a $3 starter set.
Joe, one of the first things that pops to me is there's been some pretty decent line movement since we first collected the lines on Tuesday, including in our next game. The Cleveland Browns are hosting the Baltimore Ravens. This was -1.5 48 hours ago for the Cleveland Browns at home. It's now -2.5. So Cleveland getting close to being a full field goal favorite at home against Baltimore. Some questions for both these teams, Joe. We're still waiting for the Monken passing offense to come alive. There's skill player injuries, surprise, with Baltimore and what they have at their disposal. We have probably the best game Deshaun Watson has played at the quarterback of the Cleveland Browns.
Not without its goofy moments, but yes.
Not without its goofy moments, nevertheless. The negative 20-yard pass.
What was that?
Doing too much, right? He's forgetting Sarah Marshall. You got to do less. So Cleveland favored by 2.5. I will get NFL scouting out of the way. It likes Baltimore. And this is another money line opportunity you might want to consider because NFL scouting gets the spread, likes Baltimore to win the game.
Well, silly me for going up against NFL scouting.
You're picking the Browns?
I'm rolling with the Browns at home. I'm going with the Elves, man. I like that defense. I like that defense against an offense that is still finding its way under a new coordinator. You know, I just feel like if the Browns can take care of the football, play defense like they can, I think they can win at home.
I really want to pick Baltimore. I don't think I can, though.
If I didn't go first, would you have picked Baltimore?
I would still very much be riding the fence. You might have just given me the nudge I need to get off the fence and just fall in line with Cleveland and say, hey, Cleveland might be a team that what can Baltimore do offensively to have consistent success against the way the Browns defense is playing right now?
I feel like in a lot of ways, Cleveland is well positioned to handle them.
Right. I mean, what do you look at? Quarterback run game with Lamar, which they're not really doing to the degree that they had in the past anyway.
Wide 9 and speed at linebacker, good tackling DBs. Cleveland's got the corners to match up, man.
Yeah, Cleveland. So we'll both spit in the face of our own summer assessments.
Jim Schwartz.
Everybody talked about Vic Fangio, and all of a sudden, like Jim Schwartz might be the needle mover of needle movers.
Probably less drastic of a shift. You know what I mean?
In
the way they're playing, yeah, and like probably the schedule might have a little bit to do with it too. I mean, the Browns defense has been awesome, but like, can we be honest about the offenses they faced? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
certainly plays into it.
Our next game is the Minnesota Vikings at the Carolina Panthers. Minnesota favored by 4. This number has gone up by a full point as well in the last 48 hours.
I'm going with Minnesota. I think Minnesota is being able to not fumble away from being at least 2-1, probably.
Yeah, the Justin Jefferson exchange at the end of Sunday Night Football with Philadelphia? Or was that Monday Night Football? It doesn't matter. The Philadelphia game.
It's Thursday.
Thursday? It is a primetime game. It's night.
Keep going. You'll get it eventually.
Carolina's just so banged up. They've lost a lot of key pieces.
Which, I mean, let's be honest, like the concern you have with Minnesota is the D-line, and the injuries to the Panthers O-line kind of mitigates any concerns you have there.
Well, and then you even get into the back end of the defense, and Xavier Woods is hurt now. Like
J.C. Horn.
Yeah. Minnesota.
Boy, Shaq Thompson, Frankie Louvu left the last.
Minnesota.
I don't know, man.
Now, if this game was not in Carolina, NFL scouting against the spread would pick Minnesota to cover. But because it's in Carolina, it is going to go against us and pick Carolina to cover the 4-point spread. We'll see. Don't feel great about it. But trust the process, right? The process got you 12-4 last week. See what it does this week. Cincinnati Bengals on the road facing the Tennessee Titans, who are favored in this game by 1.5, Joe.
I like the Bengals in this
game. No. This game has moved 3 points.
Okay.
The other way. Cincinnati's now favored by 2.5.
I like Cincinnati to win the game, and it really has nothing to do with Joe Burrow. I think Joe Burrow is obviously working through some things right now, and in each of the last 2 games, I think he's gotten better as it went along. This comes down to Tennessee and their offense and them having to run the ball to have any level of success, and them really not running the ball well at all this year, going up against a Bengals front with DJ Reader and BJ Hill and Logan Wilson and Jermaine Pratt and Sam Hubbard and Trey Hendrickson, and me not thinking that they can move those guys out of the way and create any displacement to run the football the way that they're going to need to do to win this game. Bengals on the road.
I agree wholeheartedly. I just don't see how Tennessee moves the ball with any level of consistency. And Ryan Tannehill's not playing good football right now. And that's going to be a disaster against a Bengals defense that came alive last week on, I know that one was Monday Night Football against the Rams.
17 points from Cincy. 14 might win this game for them.
Right. Yeah.
And right now, that's all they need.
And do you trust Tennessee to
get
in the end zone twice?
No.
Yeah. No. NFL scouting against the spread also picking Cincinnati. That's a comfortable cover for the team.
Do you remember? Wait, now do you remember Cincy's Super Bowl run? They played Tennessee. If I'm not mistaken, didn't they overcome like 9 sacks or something like that? And Lou Anarumo had all the right levers on defense that day.
Was that the divisional round of the playoffs game?
I think it was a wild card. Or did they play somebody? They played.
It was the divisional round.
Who did they play in the first round? Oh, because Tennessee was the 1 seed? Was Tennessee the 1 seed that year?
I believe they were. The 12-5 1 seed.
Okay. Yeah.
Keep your comment to yourself. I know you have one.
I'm good. Bengals.
I'm also paying.
What? Here comes the YouTube comments. Joe, why do you hate the Titans?
The Saints are at home hosting the Bucs, and I've actually confirmed this spread.
Hey, wait, hold on. Speaking of YouTube comments, Takes on Takes is tomorrow.
There you go, Joe.
Takes on Takes is tomorrow. Please fill them up. Yeah, fill them up. Give us your hottest takes. We'll have a fun day tomorrow on the show. Thank you.
Unless my baby watch ends.
Yeah, that's a variable that
my wife's due date is today.
So
she's got a doctor's appointment, and if it doesn't happen in the next 4 hours, they're going to schedule an induction, and then we're just going to sit and wait. So. The Saints are at home against the Bucs, and I don't care who's playing quarterback. I'm picking the Saints to win the football game.
Ooh.
Derek Carr said, I will play unless I am going to detriment my football team.
Okay, so you're like all the way in on the Saints in this game.
I think the Saints win the game, yes.
Like, why?
That defense, again, for all of the questions about Jameis Winston and what he will do if he has to play against the Tampa Bay defense, why should I not feel exactly the same way about versus the New Orleans Saints defense against the Tampa Bay offense?
And the Saints are at home. And I said
Correct.
earlier in the week that I'm not sure that Jameis starting at quarterback is going to be a problem for them.
Correct.
Rashid Shaheed, that guy makes a couple of plays
Explosive
every week.
plays.
I like that guy.
Chris
22.
Olave.
I like that guy.
Taysom Hill.
You know, those packages are sometimes effective.
The next Steve Young. Steve
Yeah,
Young still out there playing tight end and covering kicks on the punt.
He's a wealthy man, Kyle. Give me the Saints as well.
There you go.
This next one, heard about it, Bills and Dolphins. We'll talk about it here in just a moment. But first, we got to tell you about Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the funnest, easiest, most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. The format is awesome. It's you versus the numbers. It's not you versus thousands of other players, including pros, including sharks. It's just you against numbers. All you do is select 2 or more players. You pick more or less on their projected stats. You place your entry. That's it. Doesn't take long. You can make an entry in under a minute. And when you win, the withdrawals are super, super quick. Love watching football. Love it even more when I have a Prize Picks entry going into games because it just makes it that much more exciting. So go to prizepicks.com/LockedOnNFL. Use our promo code LockedOnNFL. That'll get you a first deposit match up to $100. Again, that's prizepicks.com/LockedOnNFL. Use our promo code LockedOnNFL. You'll get a first deposit match up to $100. Prize Picks, daily fantasy sports made easy.
The Miami Dolphins are visiting Orchard Park. Bills are favored by 3. I think this started at 2.5.
It went up a half a point.
I wish it were larger.
Will this be the first game of Kyle's new baby's life?
You know, the last time that the Dolphins played a game where I had a new child in my life, they lost by 3 to the Kansas City Chiefs.
Well,
at Hard Rock Stadium.
What does that mean? What does it mean that you and Taylor Swift were both born at the same hospital?
Yeah, just 6 months apart too.
What does the astrology tell us about that?
I don't know. I wish I could tell you with any level of confidence. What I will tell you is I'm going to pick the Dolphins to win the game and be committed to the bit, because we did it for Crossover Thursday on NFL Scouting or for Locked On Dolphins and Locked On Bills. We openly acknowledged our allegiances in the game, and therefore I will lean into and say Miami gets it done. I can't tell you the last time they won in Orchard Park, though. Can you?
The last 2 times the Dolphins won was week 3 last year in the Sun game, and then the Josh Allen a little bit short to Charles Clay
2018 game in
rookie
Miami.
year. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know when it was. Give me the home team. Give me the home team. Division game. I'll go with the home team.
NFL Scouting against the spread has this as Bills -2. So it technically has Miami.
Wow. Me against everybody. The Bills against the world.
You versus the world. That's right.
Hey, seriously, like if people want to hear more about us, like I know we kind of glossed over it and you probably expected us to say a lot of things about it. We just did a crossover discussion. We did over 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
and shame on me for not knowing this. The last time the Dolphins won in Orchard Park was Christmas Eve 2016 to clinch their playoff berth in overtime when Jay Ajayi ran for like 200 yards.
Jay Ajayi was running like crazy in that game.
Yes, he was.
I remember that.
Overtime. And then Tyler Bass was Tyler Bass still the kicker?
No, Tyler Bass was drafted in like 2018.
No, it was the former Dolphins kicker.
Dan
Carpenter hit that pipe bomb to send it to overtime.
Yeah, Dan Carpenter.
All right. Broncos visiting the Chicago Bears, favored by 3.5. I can tell you NFL Scouting has the Broncos favored by approximately a touchdown. That's how bad it is for Chicago.
I have convictions in this game. I want to go second, though, because I'm not changing my mind.
I think Denver's going to win the game. I think Denver getting waxed with a new coach, the way that they did, I think they're a team that's going to come out angry. And Chicago feels like a team that is just spiraling the drain. And I know they got waxed against Kansas City. But
they've been getting waxed every week.
Correct. But I'm just saying off of if my selling point is Denver's going to win the game
because
they got waxed last week.
Yeah, I know.
And they found a way situationally to lose a game that they were up 18 points in week 2. They found a way to situationally choke away a game against the Raiders. Like, they've been close, knocking on the door, and then they get punched in the mouth. And I think I think you're going to get an inspired effort from the Denver Broncos.
Yeah,
I think they win the football game.
I totally agree. Who do I trust to galvanize the troops more, Sean Payton or Matt Eberflus? And let's face it, Russell Wilson's a better quarterback than. I mean, there's more talent on Denver. I know they're the road team, but I think
Justin Simmons will be back.
Them bouncing back from last week, I think, is more likely than Chicago bouncing back from what feels like 16 weeks in a row. Right. That hasn't happened. The bounce back hasn't happened. So let me go with Denver for sure.
Okay, so we're in lockstep there. Philadelphia, we still have 2 1:00 games because we have 3 4:00 games again this week, including a game that I would love to watch.
Nonsense.
Philadelphia this spread has grown by, I think, 2 points. They're up the favor by 8.5, Joe.
I think the Eagles win this game very decisively. The question is, how many sacks do they get? 10, 11, 14?
They'll probably get close to, because I did the Washington offense against Bills defense tape last night in preparation for the game with the Dolphins and Bills. Joe, this was preseason game effort from Washington's offense. And, you hear the talking points for Buffalo, the defense, they just line up and play. They're really disciplined. You didn't try to, last week, you didn't try to make them do anything else. Static formations. Just everybody's going to run to a corner of the field, and we're going to evenly space the field and ask a zone match team to be stressed. Didn't do it. When they play one, we can't separate against anybody because everybody's just lining up at the line of scrimmage, and they're just going to run. Offensive line not playing on the same level.
Surely you're not questioning the offensive architecture in Washington, are you?
Andrew Wiley's giving up free runs to Leonard Floyd off the edge, just like every other play, looking to compress down, even though the center's stepping his way. Just all around bad. It was a dumpster fire for Washington offensively. Give me Philly by all the points.
How many sacks?
Scouting agrees.
How many sacks?
I'll say 8. I don't think they're going to get double digits. You'd like to think you come out and run the ball a little bit more. That was the one thing Washington showcased that they had a little bit of an ability to do.
Robinson looks good, man. Robinson's a nice player.
We're just going to drop back.
I've watched every Washington game so far this year. Ryan Robinson's nice. They should
run the ball, please.
Use him a lot more than they do.
Please run the ball.
10 carries for 70 yards in a game that was 2-score game with 11 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
Right? Yeah.
I don't tell you, man.
Would rather go 4 and out on inside the 5-yard line and throw a pick in the red zone.
I mean, I preferred it, but yeah.
Pittsburgh in Houston. Laramie Tunsil out. Josh Jones now looking like he's going to be out.
Come on.
They just...
Like, I was, ready to pick Houston in this game, too.
I shouldn't have said that then.
No, I knew that.
We're competing. Oh, okay.
No, I knew that.
Pittsburgh on NFL Scouting against the spread is favored by 6.5 versus the actual line, which is at 3.5. So it's taking Pittsburgh to cover 3.5.
I'm reluctantly going with Pittsburgh. I guess here's the question, though. Is Houston's the Bobby Slowick, Shanahan disciple? Offensive line doesn't matter, but does it? It probably does, right? It probably does with a rookie quarterback against Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
I'm picking Pittsburgh as well, if that makes you feel better.
Pittsburgh.
The Chargers are at home against the Raiders, and this line has also gone up by a full point versus 48 hours ago. It's now Chargers minus 5.5, Joe.
Yeah, I think they win. 2-2 Chargers. Raiders just don't seem like they have much of a punch to me at all this year.
NFL Scouting against the spread, for the record, has this as almost a 2-touchdown game.
They don't have another pass rusher outside of Crosby that is worth a damn. I mean, Jacobs is not running the ball well. They're not getting anybody going except for Devontae Adams.
And now Devontae Adams is coming out saying, I don't have time to figure it out. So you can tell he's already kicked off.
Well, he's getting credit to him because he's getting targets.
Garoppolo's in concussion protocol. There's a lot here that I do not like the Raiders at all.
How would you like to be year two with your regime? No progress.
It's Patriot way.
They took over a 10-win team, Kyle.
We got to evaluate this 10-win team and spend a full year doing it, and then go out and get all our new guys.
Insane.
Anyway, here's Wonderwall. The 49ers are at home against the Cardinals, favored by 14 points.
Arizona knocking off Dallas and San Francisco in consecutive weeks.
No. Comfortably. This is a comfortable game.
Should be.
Dallas is favored at home by 6.5 against New England.
They might not cover that, but
hold on. I this is about as far as I got before. I did not have the chance to do any more of the math ahead of time. So talk to me about your thoughts, and I'll do the math.
Dallas at home, 425 kick against the Patriots. I think I'm intrigued by this game in some ways, but at the end of the day, I feel like this is the bounce back game for Dallas coming off their loss to Arizona. They're over feeling sorry for themselves for their injuries. And I think this is an opportunity for them to kind of get their season back going, right? Like, it's how you bounce back. It's how you respond. And
are you a little worried about the offense?
Yeah, I'm worried about it. And certainly
worried about Dak Prescott going against Bill Belichick and the defense?
Yeah, I am. But like, I'm also worried about Mac Jones and that offense going up against Dallas's defense. And does the Patriots have the wide receiver talent to make the loss of Trayvon Diggs matter? I don't think they do.
Arizona. I just watched Arizona run for 230 yards against Dallas.
Pick the Patriots. Going with Dallas.
I'm picking Dallas to win the game. NFL Scouting has the spread at Dallas minus 4.5. So it has New England covering 6.5. So there's been, now this is 1 for you, 2, 3, 4 games where we are not in lockstep with the NFL Scouting roster rankings against the spread. It's going to be an interesting week. We have 2 more games. We have primetime games. Kansas City Chiefs at the New York Jets.
Taylor Swift will be there.
So how many points does that adjust? Like, what do we put in our methodology for calculating against the spread for games in which Taylor Swift is in attendance for?
I think it's 10 points at home and 8 on the road.
Are we going to do this every week?
Why not? I think it's fun. I think what kills me. No, what kills me about the whole thing is that you have this group of people that are just like so like, I don't care about Taylor Swift. She stinks. You know what I mean? Like she's not even good. You have to be a teeny bopper to like her music, right? And then there's this other group of people that are like Swifties that are like suddenly caring about football and like talking about how she's gonna make Travis Kelce, who's like the greatest tight end of our time. But I think it's really funny. I enjoy it. I like Taylor Swift and I like Travis Kelce, so it's a good spot to be.
Thank you.
The Chiefs win.
Chiefs win. Chiefs cover 8.5 is what? Let me make sure that's right. Been a lot of line movement since this is what happens when you try to be proactive and you work ahead, Joe. You end up it blows up in your face. 9.5. They'll still cover 9. We have it at it's about 12 points is what we have it at. So Kansas City minus 9.5. We think that Kansas City covers that. We both think they win the game. Our last game, Monday Night Football, Seahawks on the road against the New York Football Giants. I regret to inform you, NFL Scouting thinks the Giants will cover the spread. They are favored by 1.5. The Giants are at home. I think the Seahawks win the game.
I was hoping you were going to pick the Giants. We get through all this. The only one we have different is Bills and Dolphins.
It is?
Come on. See if I want to change anything.
So, needless to say, you think the Seahawks win the game?
Yeah. Giants have looked good for 2 quarters. They played 12 and looked good for 2 of them.
Right. Still don't know what their situation is with some of their talent. Saquon Barkley, high ankle sprain. Is he out? Is he in? Is he? Don't get warm.
If he's a high ankle sprain, he's not playing 2 weeks removed from it. He shouldn't.
1-year deal, right? Gotta try and drum up your value, I guess. I don't know. Although maybe his absence will be even more impactful in proving his value to the Giants.
Yeah, but the durability question that we've continued to have through most of his seasons doesn't go away. So you're either going to be up by 4 or up by 2.
You're not changing anything?
No, I'm good. You can change something if you want.
Yeah. I'll either be up by 4 or up by 2.
Or it could be a tie. Could be a tie.
Could be a tie. You know, I'm going to be honest. I wouldn't hate a tie.
Because it's not a loss. It'd be better for you if it was a tie. Yeah.
That's right. I would not hate a tie this week.
Better than losing.
That's going to do it. We'll see how things shake out. As we went over at the top of the show, it's been a rousing, successful first 3 weeks. We're looking forward to adding to that resume here this weekend of games starting tonight when the Detroit Lions play the Green Bay Packers. This show is all in on Go Pack Go. Hope you guys enjoyed Locked On NFL Scouting and Kyle Crabbs. He's Joe Marino. You can find us on YouTube or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. Make it a great rest of your day. We'll talk to you all again tomorrow.